Hey guys, so today I really wanted I wanted to film this video the minute I saw this. The minute I saw this on Twitter. This needs to be a video now, and I need to be the first person to film it because like I need to do this like right now. There has been some drama with James and Wet n Wild because Wet n Wild did a dupe version of his palette that is more affordable. Pretty much was their whole stance on it, I guess. They were making an affordable version of his palette, and so I thought, as somebody who has used the James palette before, oh my god, wait, I should just compare them. Like, which one is better, you know? So, today, I am going to be comparing the two palettes. So first, this is my James palette. This palette is actually, it's used. She's been used. The red is at pan, the white's at pan. There's a lot of shades at pan. But, so this is the James palette, as everyone knows. Here I have the Wet n Wild palette. So this palette is not even out yet, actually. I had somebody who was attending DragCon, which is where they launched it for first like appearance, I guess. I had somebody buy me this, and I paid them back, of course, but I paid for them to buy me it as well as overnight me it. So I paid $100 to have this overnighted, so I can film this video for you guys like right now, because I knew this was like a hot topic and like y'all would care, you know? Like, as makeup connoisseurs, y'all know what's up. So with first glance at the palette, pretty much the main difference is the size of the pans, of course. So when it comes to the color coordination of everything, it's pretty similar. There's a few things different when it comes to the Wet n Wild palette. They have a full turquoise color that's not shimmery, as well as like the red, like the orange and red placements is a little bit different. And like this shade right here is lighter than the shade up top on there. So there are like a few different things when it comes to the palette, like with just shades and stuff. But as a general whole, it's pretty much the similar palette. On the Wet n Wild palette, this shade right here, this turquoise shade, it is just wait, why is that so good? Okay, wait, I'm like, okay, wait, that was like a really good turquoise color. Okay. So yeah, so that is this right here. Most of the colors are pretty similar. A little bit of the placement of them is different. Like the undertones of some of these browns are a little bit different. So when it comes to James saying they copied him, I mean, they pretty much did. It is a dupe. But like legally, I don't think they copied him, because when it comes to like fashion stuff as well, for example, like for New York Fashion Week and stuff, if a designer has an outfit and somebody else's copies their outfit, legally, as long as it's made with different materials, it's not copy. You know, like it's not legally like copyright or anything. And you also, as well as, you can't really copyright colors. Like I don't know, like I'm just a big believer in you can't really copyright things when it comes to just basic use. Like, for example, like the company Supreme, they own you can't steal the logo and the lettering and the colors of Supreme, but you can use the word Supreme in other things. So I think it's one of those situations, but I do think they were doing this under the intention of, we want to do a cheaper version of James's palette. So, which in some way I do think is kind of like not right, but at the same time, I'm very neutral on this one, because at the same time, I know for a fact James has made a good $10 to $50 million off of this palette, just based off of the sales. So I think in some terms it could be a little bit greedy, but as a general statement, I don't know, they're both right. Like, Wet n Wild has a point as well as James does, so that's kind of just like where I sit, I guess. But when it comes into the comparison, I'm going to real quick do my makeup so that I can give you guys a review of the comparison of the quality. Real quick, I'm gonna do swatches of them before I do my makeup. So I'm just gonna swatch them on my arm, then I'm gonna have the comparison of two different shades on each side. So I'm gonna start off with the yellow on the Wet n Wild palette. Just off of that, it's a little bit less pigmented, and I can already tell, you can kind of see how it's a little bit not as much on my finger, but it still seems to be a good yellow, so I'm gonna okay, that's honestly a pretty good pigmented yellow. Like, just that's a good pigmented yellow. The now comparison of the James one, it's a little bit more pigmented, like I was saying, but let's see right now. Yeah, I would say the James one is better for the yellow, for sure. Now, one thing that is different with these two are the oranges. So, for example, in the James palette, you have a matte orange next to a kind of, in the James palette, you have a lighter orange and a matte orange right here. But when it comes to the Wet n Wild palette, actually, you have a orange and a shimmery orange shade right here. And this is where the darker version of the James one was. So again, technically that's not copying. I don't know. I'm gonna get out of that. I'm gonna go on to just like reviewing the colors. So I'm just gonna swatch this right here. Okay, looks cool. I don't like the undertone of it though. It does not, I'm not a big fan of the undertone. But I'm gonna do that with my bracelet. Okay. Okay. Like I said, it's like a good orange. Okay. The James one, you can see how this is a little bit more of like a Cheeto dust orange than like a darker orange. So I'm just gonna place that under there. Yeah, like those are obviously different, and I do like the James one a little bit better on this one as well. The color just seems to be a little bit more consistent than the top one, but I'll know for sure once I apply it on my eyes. And the color that matches this color better is the one next to the true orange. But I think this is actually more of a true orangey red. And again, I think that one, it's a little bit better quality. I'm gonna give them that. Oh, and James, if you're watching this, what's good? And now in the Wet n Wild palette, they actually have a really turquoisey shade, which looks crazy pigmented, and the James palette doesn't, which I very, very much think he should have had. I'm gonna just place that right. Oh my god, wait. Wait, shit. No, y'all. That's a really good turquoise. Wait, that's like the best turquoise I've ever actually used. I've always been looking for a good turquoise shade, and I think I found it. I think I found her right here. Now in the James palette, this is where the turquoise would be, but this is a just shimmery blue shade, and I know for like, I don't think I need to swatch it again. If you want to watch James's video, you can, but it's pretty much just a shimmery blue shade. So I'm gonna swatch this one, which is more of a royal blue shade, I'm thinking. Yeah, that's more of a royal blue shade. I think the actual quality is a little bit teeny bit better. Like you can see how that kind of swatched longer than the top one did. But again, price difference, formula difference. So I'm gonna do the turquoise color next to it. This is more of like a greenish turquoise than anything. That one didn't swatch good. So in this palette, in James's palette, this other darker blue shade was a matte shade, but in this one it is a shimmer. So I'm just gonna do all the matte shades pretty much in a few of the shimmers. So I'm gonna get onto this Wet n Wild color. This is the true darker blue. It is kind of splotchy on my finger. Like I said, these colors are a teeny bit more ashy than James's, but not a vibe. Okay, so now onto swatching James's right below it. Oh yeah, so much better already. Yeah, I mean yeah, just James's is better. And this is completely non-biased because I don't think he likes me. So this is coming from a genuine non-biased place of whichever palette is better. I really don't care that he doesn't like me. So I'm really just reviewing the palettes as to which I think is better. So don't worry or don't think anything if you know about our beef, but I don't know. So in this palette, there actually is not a matte green color. There's only a shimmer color, which I do not like in the slightest. I think that actually kills a big vibe of this rainbow palette. I'm somebody who uses mattes way more than I ever use shimmers. I think shimmers are necessary, but I don't think, like I don't like that, like at all. So that's not cute, but I'm just gonna compare, I guess, the shimmers to the mattes. So this is the shimmery green shade, which, ew, I really don't like colored shimmer shades for some reason. So I'm gonna swatch that below here. Okay, that's a dud. Never mind. Now I'm gonna swatch the other green shade from James right below it. Even this green shade of his is a little bit ashy. I'm not a big fan of the greens in James's palette, but this is a million times better than that, of course. And I just don't like that there isn't a dark green shade in the palette. I think if you're gonna have a rainbow palette, one of the most key things is every color of the rainbow. So I kind of find that, I don't understand why they would want to copy James's palette and like get the backlash from that and then not have an actual full rainbow palette. So, but again, So onto the pinks. This is the Wet n Wild pink. This is just a matte pink shade. Let's see how that swatches. That was swatch 1. I'm gonna go over it again to see if that does anything. Okay. Just like a good pink, I guess. Now comparing it to the James one. Yeah, the James one is way better. Yeah, his is way better. So now onto the maroon shade right here. Seems sick. I'm a big person on maroon shades, so I'm really gonna be testing this one. Ugh, that's ashy. Yeah, that's ashy, and I think the color is awful. That is not a good representation of a, like, maroon shade. And here is James's maroon, which is literally beautiful. Beautiful, bitch. The shit goes all the way around my arm, too. So onto the purple right here. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good purple. I support that. I support that. Now onto the James purple. Okay. See, like, again, like, it's just better. Like, I don't know, like, the colors. And, like, you can literally see, like, you can kind of see. So, I'm not lying. And in the James palette right here, they do have a darker purple shade that the Wet n Wild palette does not have. And again, I think that is very key to having a rainbow palette. You need to have all the colors of the rainbow. And, bitch, if you're gonna have a 50 color palette or 40 color palette, you need to have a dark purple shade. So they only have a shimmer shade, which, like I expressed before, I don't like. And James does even have a shimmer shade in his palette that's purple, so I don't know, like they could have done that too. So that's not cute, but so I am gonna swatch that right now. Yeah, James has purple. I did not like the purple in that one. I didn't like that. That's not cute. So now I'm gonna compare the black eyeshadows. I am a connoisseur of black eyeshadows, so this is real. Like, this is somebody I've used every black shadow in every brand. Like, I know my good blacks. I think the best black eyeshadow is the Jeffree Star Beauty Color Palette with the black shade in there. Oh, it's so good. But I'm gonna just swatch this. Y'all about to get roasted if it's not good. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I support that. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Ooh, bitch. Wait, yo. That's a vibe. So now onto the James one. Wait, oh my god, this means the Wet n Wild. I literally like the Wet n Wild one so much better. I'm gonna do another swatch just to show y'all I'm not, like, doing that on purpose. Wait, if I can find the right place. Okay, another swatch helped that, but still, like, you can see the comparison of, like, no, I really like the Wet n Wild one. So now on to the white. Okay, that's a good white. So now on to the James one. Ugh, yeah, okay. So the white and the Wet n Wild one I do think is better than the James one, as you can kind of see. So I'm gonna swatch the brown shade real fast. I think this will be the last one that I swatch, actually, just because I really only wanted to swatch the crucial ones of the palette. Oh yeah, okay, that's a really good brown. This is actually my favorite brown. It has the perfect warm and brown undertone, but definitely the James one is better for the browns, for sure. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna go do my makeup and come right back for the eyes. Okay guys, so my base makeup is done and I'm gonna get into the eyeshadow. So on this eye, I will be using the Real James Charles palette, and then on this eye, I'll be using the Wet n Wild palette. So I'm just gonna try and do as much of an eccentric eye look as I possibly can. So pretty much I'm just gonna do the colors. You guys kind of know how a tutorial works, but I'm gonna just kind of give my comparison as I go, if that makes sense. Okay, so I real quick did this cute rainbow smoky eye on this side. Such a vibe. Did pretty much most of the main colors that I think are crucial to doing this look. And so I pretty much did most of the colors that are crucial to a rainbow palette, which is how they are marketing it. So now on this side, I'm going to replicate this. Hopefully everything goes smooth, but I'm gonna just get straight into it. So already we have a problem. There is this orange shade I used in my eyelid. They don't seem to have besides in shimmer. So I'm gonna have to use this shade and mix it with yellow. So let's see how that goes. Okay. So honestly, that went on pretty well. It's not as yellow. So now I'll be throwing that yellow shade in my inner corner just to kind of brighten it. Honestly, so far, the orange is working a lot better. Like, it looks better on my eye than it does in the palette, so that's sick. Sick. So now I'm going to be going on to the red shade. I'm a big red connoisseur when it comes to palettes and stuff, so I'm going to be harsh on this if it's not red. Oh, okay. That's sick. I do have to say I like the undertone of James's red just a little bit more, mainly because it is a true red, and this has a little bit of a blue / gray undertone more so. You can kind of see what I mean. So honestly, this blended pretty much the same. I mean, like I said, I like the undertone of this red more than this one, but on the camera so far, everything's looking pretty similar. So now for the blue, I'm going to be using that turquoise shade and a little bit of the real blue. So a little bit of these two shades on my under eye. See, that's not cute. That's not cute. That is very ashy. Yeah, and as I'm blending it, it's like wiping away the lighter one, which is also an indicator that it's really shadowy. And also, as I'm using this, the color is dripping all down the palette. So like I said, it is very, very ashy. So now onto the pink shade. I'm having to use a lot of this one, just because the color like isn't that pigmented. Like when I put it on the other eye, it literally went on in like 2 seconds, and this is just looking gross. Overall, they're pretty much looking the same, but it's more about like the application process of it that's like annoying, if anything. So now I'm going to be using the black shade, just placing it right here. Honestly, this, I actually really like this black shade. I like it like high key a little bit better than the James one. I mean, honestly, you can't really tell a difference. It's pretty much like the same. I blended this one a little bit better than this. I don't know, like do you ever just do one eyeshadow side better than the other and you're just kind of like, nah, like you just low-key don't care enough like to like fix it. You're like, you know what, just look at me on the side, don't look at the side. Actually, I am going to be comparing the shimmer shade right here as well, comparing it to the white shimmer shade right here for my brow bone. I'm just going to be placing the shade right there. That's a vibe. Okay. Now grabbing the white shimmer shade right here. I like using these angled brushes that are almost used for nose contour for there, because they kind of just fit the area perfectly. So for the shimmer, I feel like it just kind of depends on your vibe. With the shimmer shade, I feel like it really just depends on your vibe. If you want a more blinding white one, the Wet n Wild one is a little bit better. But if you want more of just a subtle, prettier, softer one, I would use the James one for sure. So I'm gonna real quick hop on my lashes and some lipstick, and I'll be right back for my final thoughts. So real quick, I'm gonna throw on lashes, and I'll be using Lilly lashes in the style Mykonos. If you would like to use these lashes and get some money off at checkout, because I do genuinely think they're like the best lashes ever, and I'm not just saying that because I have a promo code. I'm literally saying that because they're the only lashes I use. But use code Ethan at checkout. I'm gonna pop on some black lipstick real fast. So this pretty much completes the look. I think this is such a vibe, honestly. Honestly, I really think both palettes have such different qualities about themselves, where like I like the Wet n Wild one. Honestly, they look pretty much the same. Like there's not much of a difference. I think there's some shades in the Wet n Wild palette that I think are lacking, and there's also some shades in the James palette that I think are very lacking. And so honestly, I don't know, I think it all depends up to you. Like what do you want? Like, do you want the Wet n Wild palette or do you want the James palette? I think they're pretty much similar. I think the price points are honestly similar enough to the point where like if you're wanting a really good quality rainbow palette and you're wanting to actually use it and you have the extra $10, $20 to spend on the James palette, then do that. But if you really don't have it in the means, then I would definitely check out the Wet n Wild palette. Like if you just want it to be affordable, you don't really care, you want similar quality, but you don't really care if it's the James palette or not, then I would get the Wet n Wild. I think it all depends on you and who you are and what you want. But if I had to choose one, I would definitely choose just the James palette over the simple fact that most of the colors in this palette are very good quality, and this is a palette that I travel with whenever I do travel. I usually bring this in my Z palette, so I don't know, I think it all just kind of depends on you and who you are as an artist. So yeah, I would have to say I'm gonna go with the James palette, but besides that, I'm pretty neutral on it when it comes to the quality. I think overall with the James palette, you're gonna get more product out of these colors because you have a bigger pan for the black as well as the white, as well as the shimmer that a lot of people use as highlighter. I think it all just kind of depends on you, like I said. All the colors blended, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. All the colors seem to blend really well. I think they give off the same vibe. I think all the colors blended very similarly. Everything, like, it looks exactly the same. I think it's like super cute rainbow vibes, but yeah, like I said, I think they're all it's pretty much the same. Like, it's pretty much very similar. Now if I were James and I just found out that the palettes are very similar, I would be kind of more annoyed, if anything, because honestly the average person who doesn't want to spend the money on it could definitely go get the Wet n Wild palette, because like whenever I ordered the James palette, I ordered it through Ulta, and then after shipping and tax it was like $50 when you could just spend $21 on the Wet n Wild one. So I understand that, but like, I don't know. I think it all just kind of depends on you and what you need. Oh, and random side note, I am doing a big giveaway on my Instagram today, and if you want to enter, you totally can. I'm gonna put the image right here. All you have to do is be following me, like that picture, and then put it on my story. Yeah, like, you know how you can like share a post in your story, just do that, and those are the simple steps. Just post in your story, like the photo, and be following me. Also, subscribe down here. If you're finding out about it from there, subscribe here, because I'll probably check and be like, yo, subscribe, you know? So, yeah, there actually is a James palette in the giveaway. My friend had an extra one, and she gave it to me, and I already have one, so I was like, a lot of people want this palette. I should totally put it in a giveaway. So yeah, if you guys would like to do that, you totally can. Be sure to subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching. Be sure to give a comment down below of what you would like to see from me next. But yeah, I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was coming from a completely unbiased place. Me and James have our thing, I guess. I don't know what to call it, but if you're watching this, James, if you're watching this, James, no hard feelings. I just don't really care about any of our drama. Like, I just don't really care. I think you're smart. Your palette's in my video right now, so go you. I wish no one any negativity, all positivity on my side. Alrighty. Adios, bye.